Summer is around, the days are getting hotter and hotter, and your vacation is probably already planned. And this is probably why you want to have this perfect summer body, which is exactly the topic of today's video, so I'm very happy to welcome you here today. Hey loves, it's Evie, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I've been getting a lot of questions about how I was able to lose weight and about how I overly achieved to naturally shape my body, turned into more of an hourglass kind of figure. And I want to be real honest with you guys, I didn't really do any crazy workouts or I don't know, went to the gym. Honestly, I've never been to the gym ever. And I also didn't follow a very strict diet in order to achieve that. It's literally just that I've changed a few little things about my everyday life that literally changed everything. So in today's video I want to show you exactly what I did during the past few years. And I also really hope that I can help you to achieve your body goals. Now the first thing I want to talk about is daily walks. And this might sound a little bit hilarious, but let me get to the point. And before I get more into that, I just want to say real quick that I didn't really count my steps religiously. It's just that having this fresh air and overall taking the time to just move your body a little bit without following maybe a workout. But it's also amazing for your digestion. So I like to go on a little walk for a few minutes or something. Now the most beneficial time where I would recommend you to do that is either in the mornings when you just haven't really woken up that much and you just want to move your body a little bit, but you don't want to be completely exhausted because of a workout or something, because I know that feeling. I honestly don't like it. And yes, you can follow a workout, but I personally don't really like working out when you have to do it, and just more do it sometimes when I feel like it. But that's not part of today's video because I may be working out every 2 months once, so it's not really that I'm working out. The only thing I'm doing is going on walks. And you can also go on longer walks, you can do pretty much whatever you want. So either in the mornings or for example after you just ate a very heavy meal that just lays very heavy in the stomach. I know you probably get this feeling of wanting to rest because you want to first digest everything, but trust me, go on a walk. It literally helps you so much to digest everything fully, and overall doesn't really leave that much calories because you immediately burn them before you can even really turn on your digestive system. And secondly, another really important thing for me that I like to do on a daily basis is to drink apple cider vinegar and also herbal teas. Now about the apple cider vinegar, how I like to do it is I like to drink it in the mornings, and I used to do that every morning, but now I just do that every like 3 days or something, because honestly it's not really necessary for me anymore, because now I don't really have to lose weight. I just want to stay at my current physique that I have because I'm at the moment very happy with it. And how I drink it is I like to basically just use a glass of water and fill it completely with water, and then add 1 tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar, and then I just mix it and drink it. But I try to drink it all at once. And I do this before breakfast because this will also help your digestive system. And overall, when starting out, I would recommend you to also only do it once a day, but you can also do this before every meal that you have. But as I was saying, once a day in the mornings is also completely fine. Just pay attention to not eat too much of heavy foods. Talking about herbal teas, I love drinking chamomile tea, and I sometimes also drink that with honey, but normally I just only drink the tea without any sweetener or something, and I like to drink it before going to bed because first of all it's very calming and you will get to fall asleep much easier, but it's also again great for your digestive system. And sometimes during the night when maybe I can't sleep or I'm just kind of craving to have a late night snack, I'm not doing that, but instead I'm just drinking a tea because it so helps you to not be as hungry anymore and get to fall asleep again. And on the other side, it's just good because it's nothing that really has lots of calories, so just drink tea instead. And talking about late night snacks, another rule that I also strictly stick to is that I'm not eating anything after 7 p.m. because again, it's not good for your digestive system, and I cannot stress this enough. It's literally all about digestion. With that being said, if you really want to lose weight, you have to train yourself to not eat out of boredom. And speaking from experience, I know that the transition can be really hard because you will be hungry all of the time because you're just thinking about eating something. And this already leads me to the next tip, which is balance and not restriction. Because let's be honest, sometimes you just really need to eat a lot of food on some days because you're just absolutely craving it. And you really have to balance that, because I also do that. And on these days I like to just eat completely freely. This is maybe once a week or something when I have this craving. And after that I try to balance it by just eating a little less for the next 2 or 3 days than I would normally eat. So just in terms of the portions, I just make portions that are a little bit smaller. But about the portions, I also want to mention I don't count my calories or something, because I think that's just kind of unhealthy, because when you're just always paying attention to the calories or something, your relationship to food will become so bad. I literally don't do that. And now talking about unhealthy foods, I also sometimes eat fast food and stuff. But back then, when I really had this kind of chubby figure that I absolutely wasn't happy with, I had also a kind of toxic environment. And I used to go to McDonald's maybe like 3 times a week or something, or 2 times a week, and just eat everything I wanted to eat without maybe having any discipline. So lots of fast food and also lots of chips actually. So yeah, and now I don't do that. I do have my weekend days where I like to also reach out for example, nachos, or also for chocolate. Obviously, if you want that, you can also completely ditch eating candy. But honestly, don't set your goals too high, or your kind of nutrition goals, because then you probably won't stick to them and will just end up being frustrated. But instead, start small. You can always add. Tip number 6 that I have for you is to create sort of a natural eating rhythm that you also stick to. So for example, what really helped me is to not really have 3 big meals in a day, but instead I prefer to have 2 meals and then 1 snacky kind of meal in between. And my last tip for you is to just overall pay attention to your mindset, because I would say mindset in that case also is one of the most important things that you have to do if you really want to lose weight in a healthy way. Because if you're just wanting to lose weight because maybe you're unhappy with your current life situation and you think that when you're skinnier your life will become better, it will give you much more confidence. At least that was the case for me. But when you're just unhappy with your appearance, just being a little bit skinnier than before won't completely heal yourself and heal your life. You still have to work on your mindset. And one kind of mindset shift I had is to just think about it like that. When you're buying clothing and you're just buying your clothes from maybe a fast fashion brand and they don't really have the best quality, similar to, for example, fast food, it will probably not last as long as when you're, for example, reaching for maybe only 1 or 2 items that maybe are even from a designer brand, and maybe you cannot tell it's from a designer brand because it doesn't really have a lot of branding, which is not necessary, but you can see it in terms of quality. This high quality piece will last much longer than anything that's just low quality. And this is the same thing that was my case with food, because back then I always used to just eat out of boredom and just reach for stuff that is like fast to make, so literally fast food, or sometimes just from McDonald's or something. And it's just that it's nothing special anymore, you know? Whereas now it's literally so important to me to reach for good foods and also high quality foods, because nutrition is also key and you really want to look much more healthy. And also it's not only about losing weight but also being less bloated and also swollen, because your face can be really swollen when you're, for example, eating lots of fabricated sugar. And I also try to kind of adjust that and balance that with some sugar alternatives. Obviously you cannot cut sugar completely, but for example sugar that you get from fruits or honey, and also lots of syrups. So one syrup that I love to put into my coffee and everything is agave syrup, and obviously you shouldn't eat it like bread. It's still not completely healthy because it's still a sweetener, but I would say it's much more healthy than fabricated sugar. And last but not least, I also try to kind of make my meals that I make myself always look very aesthetically pleasing, so that I'm literally proving to myself that I'm willing to put the effort into the foods that I consume, and also just overall not just eat any trash that I'm throwing into my body, because I love myself and I'm just trying to make something, and you're just putting the effort and the time into making your meals. You can also do meal prep if maybe you don't have as much time to always like spend 1 hour or something making your meals. But this is also a tip: if you're really putting more effort into making your meals, you will also eat less, because you will enjoy the moment more rather than just always wanting to eat something. Because I don't think you will spend every day like 5 times a day or 6 times a day just creating high effort meals, because let's be honest, you will probably not have the time for it. And that's it already with today's video. I really hope that I could have helped you a little bit in order to achieve your dream body. And also let me know if maybe you need anything else, maybe you need any more tips on this and have any questions. Feel free to ask in the comments or maybe on Instagram or something. And also thank you all so much for the love that you have given me because of my transformation. And I love you guys so much, and I wish you an amazing day. Bye!